All right, let me say hello and welcome to each and every one of you. Doug here with thelincolnlist.com, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Happy Hour with the Lincoln, where I will do my best to answer all of your stock market related questions. I will tell tales and rant about stock market topics. But more importantly, I will share 2 decades of trading experience, hard knocks, good time, and knowledge with you, just so I can shorten your learning curve and help you guys become better and more profitable traders. Now, speaking of trading, as always, if you guys need help, somewhere on the screen will appear a link. You feel free to click that link. It will also be down in the description box. Every day that the market is open, we're trading live on screen, educating people about how to trade and how to become successful. Feel free to join us if that's something that you're interested in. The link will be here somewhere. So what I want to talk today is about learning from your mistakes. And that is important to actually have mistakes. Sometimes what seems like devastating makes could be blessings in disguise, because it will be those very mistakes that will catapult you into another segment of your trading career. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. When people often reach out to me about trading advice, a lot of it is centered around, hey, how long is this going to take me? Or this is where I'm at now. How much longer is it going to take me to be successful? And that's always a tough question to ask. So for everybody else, it's different. But one thing that I have noticed is that most of you are probably not as far away that you think you are. I mean, you literally could turn your trading around. It could be totally miserable. You could have lost every trade for every month that you've ever done this. You could have lost thousands of dollars. But the next day that the market is open, you have the potential to be wildly successful and start turning the corner and pointing yourself in a more professional direction. How do we do this? Well, I think back about it, and I think I haven't learned a whole lot of lessons from the wins. Because a lot of people say, what was your biggest win that made you feel confident? Or what was this great win that made you feel confident? And yes, winning makes you confident, but what actually builds your character as a human being, not just in trading, guys, I'm talking about life. What builds your character and helps people become successful is learning from the mistakes that they have made. Right? That's how we do it. You do something and you do it wrong and you pay the price. You get punished. And for some of you, you're like, man, I don't want to do that again. So you do everything in your power to avoid putting yourself in that circumstance. Trading is the same way. Now, where I'm going with this, I look at it this way. I think back at the greatest wins that I had and the longest periods of success that I had as a trader. And I think, what have I actually learned from these wins? Now, you learn a little bit. Don't get me wrong. You are learning something, because learning is doing, and you're building confidence, and it feels great to be a winner. And that's great, you know. You also feel better about yourself, and you're reaping these rewards of success. So there is some gratification in that. But when you think about is this building my character? Is this making me a stronger, tougher, grittier, long-term profitable trader? And the answer is it plays very little part. On the other side, it is those losses, which I've been very, transparent about my early career in 99, 2000, 2001. Back then, it seemed like a disaster, blowing up accounts and constantly losing money. But when I fast forward to now, I realize all of that was really responsible for molding my trading career, but me, my character, to let me know that, you know what, you are stronger, you are tougher, and you are more resilient than you give yourself credit for. And that's what those losses have taught me. Because when I look at them, I think, what did you do wrong? And I've spent the rest of my career avoiding those big mistakes. Now, certainly I do make mistakes. I have losing trades. Don't think you're ever going to get out of that stuff. But there are certain mistakes that we can make sometimes that are just non-recoverable, that do so much damage that we can't recover from that. And those are the kind that I was doing. So kind of think of it this way, just in an analogy of a life lesson. If you have somebody who started from nothing, you have like really rich people all over the world, but you have a handful of them. Some were born into wealth and some had to acquire it self-wise. They built this on their own. Now, there's no question that there's a much different viewpoint of success and a much different viewpoint of money from the people that started with nothing. And the reason is they have this journey that they were on. It wasn't just about making money. It was about this whole body of work and this whole journey that they were on. And the money that they make means something to them because they came from nothing and they were put down their whole lives. They were told that they could not do it. And this value that they have money on, what it's like to work for money, what it's like to be in a position where you're not eating, for example. You're starving to death because you don't have enough money. Or you're mortgaging your future on a certain business idea or venture. You've taken this enormous amount of risk, or you've looked yourself in the mirror and said, man, there's no turning point. I don't have anybody to fall back on. Now, I'm not saying that every wealthy, born, rich child that grows up has this type of mentality. It all has to do with the parents, but you do understand that the majority of those people that were born, let's say, with a silver spoon in their mouth, for a lack of a better term, view that money differently because they've always been brought up in a protective environment. They've always gotten what they wanted whenever they wanted. Their parents may have spoiled them. So they've gotten riches, and they haven't been put in a situation where they really understand the value of money, because to them, money has come easy. I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying this is the life that we live in and the world that we live in. It will always be unfair and unbalanced, and that's just the way it is. No harm here. But their value of a dollar is different. Now, where this creates some sort of a problem is as you progress through life, the person that came from nothing will realize there will be a do or die situation, and they will have to face this with no losing is not an option. There's no such thing. There's not a plan B. It's all in on plan A, and this works or I'm dead sort of theory, right? Where the rich person can say, well, I'm all in, but Pops will take care of me if I screw up, okay? It's that kind of a difference. And when you relate that to trading, even if you come from a wealthy family and you've got a lot of money and you lose the money that you're trading, the important thing to understand here is about those mistakes that you make, is you will learn more from that. It will be those mistakes that define your character, that define your grit and determination, and will ultimately pay success or dividends or make you into the person that you are in the future. So for me, when I look at it, it was, when I started trading, I was young, I was 20 years ago. I was younger. My viewpoints about money were different. Up to that point, everything I had touched in my professional career, I was 30 years old. So everything I had touched in my professional career turned to gold. I made money at everything that I did. Everything. I started a lawn cutting business when I was a teenager. I made money on that. It was profitable. I started all kinds of a moving business when I was in high school. I made money with that. I did side jobs in college, made money with that. Went into the insurance business and was an insurance salesman. I made money in that. I did all kinds of other side projects with real estates, with anything. I always made money. And it was relatively simple for me to come up with an idea and make money. Then I stumble on trading, and like a lot of you might have realized, like I've been successful in everything in my life, and I come to trading, it's like, what the hell is this, right? What the hell is this? I can't get anything right. I actually look like a total idiot, and I'm imploding, and I'm costing myself thousands of dollars daily just by ignorance. And it's this big ego hit that you have to take that says, okay, look, this one is getting the better of me, I am being beaten up and destroyed by the market. So what do I have to do here to be more clever, to get ahead of the game, to figure out how I'm going to succeed in this cesspool of the market? And how I did that, and what really gave me the confidence, was to take a look at who I was by losing. When I think about it, I say, and for you guys, take a look at this. Try this formula, which worked for me. I took the top 5 losses that I ever had trading. The top 5 ones that just smoked me to hell and back. And then I thought, okay, why did that happen? What was this, first of all, a trade that was part of my trade plan? Was this something that I should have done or shouldn't have done? That's number one. Was this a revenge trade? How did I actually get involved in this idea? Now, what I did find out about most of these is they were like revenge trades. They were anger trades. They were things that I had speculated or experimented with, which led me to believe, the problem isn't the trades that you make that's part of your plan and process. The problem is this speculative crap, or messing around with things you don't know about, like foreign currencies or advanced option strategies. You found a niche that works for you, and when you use that niche, you're pretty successful. And even if you're not getting hurt. When you start with this speculation, doubling down on losers, taking revenge trades, or letting your ego come in there, you have some problems. Also, when I looked at these top 5 trades, I said, was there ever a bailout point here on any of these where you looked yourself in the mirror and said, I'm screwed, man. I am screwed. I'm toast. I should cut this. And then you chose not to. And most of them were yes. So there was still, the market was giving me an out. I didn't take it. So when I look back at them, I said, what did you learn from those? Those losses were just ignorant. There's no other way to say it. It's your fault. It's not the market's fault. It's not CNBC's fault. It's not the latest guru you might subscribe to. It's not their fault. It's my fault. I pushed the button. I'm the one that stayed in the loser. I'm the one that made the bad decision. So maybe if I take that and stop doing that and just focus on what I know, then maybe I'll make some more money. And of course, from there, you look at the mistakes you made. Go back each month and say, just to last month, what are the biggest mistakes that I made? What were the worst trades I made? And look at those and find that area to say, man, this is why I'm losing money, because I'm getting greedy. I'm getting aggressive at the wrong time. I'm adding at the wrong time. I'm rushing my entries. I'm having FOMO. You'll figure it out. You know what you're doing. But the important thing, guys, here that I want to talk about, when people reach out to me and ask me, what was a pivotal change? There wasn't one moment where I woke up and go, oh, I got it. This is how you trade stocks now. It was this gradual process. But when I think back on it, I can't underestimate how important. I know a lot of you guys look at this right now and you're frustrated because you're losing or you're going nowhere. Or you've been doing this for a long time and you're not making the money you want. But here's what I want to tell you. You're learning from that right now. You are learning something that will be with you for the rest of your life. So just stay with it. Just hang in there. You're talking about if you're 20 years old, you could do this till you're 80. Think of how many years that is. Even if you're in your 50s, right? I might live to 100. I can still trade. I'm still young, man. As long as you got a bright brain, guys, you can keep this. This is not laborious work. So stay with it. Just stay with it. But think about these mistakes you made, guys. This is what you learn from. And when I learned from that, I realized what I came back from. I remember who I was when I started out as a young guy and living in a car selling insurance to become the top insurance agent with my company, or all of this adversity I had faced in my life. And I'm like, if I can do that, I can trade. I can trade, right? I'll figure it out. I'm strong. I'm tough. I'm independent. I'm me, man. I'm me, and I can do this. And you guys are the same way. Draw from that inspiration. Draw from your mistakes. And learn to embrace these mistakes, because this is what's going to make you rich. Every mistake that you have is an opportunity for you to learn. And that's what you're doing right now. You're learning. The only thing you have to do here, which I beg of you, which sometimes we do ourselves, don't repeat them. That's the only time that you can be mad at yourself and get down on yourself, is when you know better, when you know you're making the same mistake twice. Just don't do that. Otherwise, it's the best thing that will happen to you, because you will grow up with an appreciation. Because if I would have made a ton of money when I started trading stocks, I wouldn't respect money. I would be as a bull market boy who just thought it was always easy. And a part of me was like that in the .com. That's what got me in trouble. I wasn't ready. But if I didn't have that journey, I wouldn't have the character. I wouldn't respect what I did. I wouldn't get up every day and look at the market and go, I'm just as good as my last trade. I'm a nobody. And that's how I feel. I'm a nobody in the market. I don't care how much I've made. I'm still a nobody in the market, because I still got to go do it again. You know, if I was cocky or everything was easy or I had money to fall back on from families, I would go, whatever. But no, this is part pride. This is part me growing as an individual. This is a part what I've always done my whole life, like you guys do. You get up every day, you go to work. You put in the hours, you go to work. Nobody gave you shit. You got to work for it, right? Learn from your mistakes. So anyway, guys, I hope this made some sense to you. You know, I'm always good for getting off topic a little and ranting there, but that's how they do when the blood flows and I start sweating. But anyway, if you need some help, feel free to join me. But don't forget, guys, your mistakes are opportunities for learning. Embrace that you're making them. Just don't make them twice. Until next time, take care, trade well. Talk to you soon.